Well, Darren, just how pleased are you to have Tom Anderson around for a couple more years here at the Keep, mate?
Yeah, we're delighted that Tom has agreed to sign on and extend his contract with us. Really pleased. Tom's probably been one of the, if you're looking as an individual, he's been probably one of the consistent performers this season. He's been absolutely like a tower of strength for us, and long may that continue. He's affectionate person and around the place. He's got wonderful character. He's a wonderful man, and on the pitch, he shows his leadership qualities in terms of his performances, and he gives us that solid foundation to build on. So for him to agree to extend his contract for another couple of seasons, we're delighted here at Doncaster Rovers Football Club to see him stay on board. And as I said, he's another acquisition to the squad that we're pleased to see him extend his time with us.
It was interesting speaking to him earlier in the year. He seemed to have targeted this season as a really important one for establishing his career. Just how well has he taken the chances that you've been able to give him this season so far?
Well, that's what I mean. He's grabbed it with both hands, and as I said, he's been one of our consistent performers this year. And certainly when he was suspended, we missed him, and he's come back in and he's settled right back in there. He's solid, he's reliable, he's 100% committed to the football club, and it's great because those are the type of players you want to see here. And I'm sure as with the staff and the players, and I'm sure the supporters will be delighted to hear the news that he's extended it, and it shows the right approach that we have here in terms of the football club, in terms of keeping hold of our players, or being realistic with our players, that the ones that are coming out of contract, in trying to offer them a deal that we feel is right for the football club and the player.
Is he a defender that the Doncaster Rovers defence can be built around in the future, do you feel?
Yeah, I think like I said, he's been a consistent performer. He's a leader in terms of the way his performances, and he's one of them certainly that you want to take in the trenches with you, because his performances have been at a level that he's shown consistency, but with those consistency he's getting better. I see there's signs in his games where he's improved since me coming here in terms of that, and as a defender by trade myself when I was a player, and him, I see there's qualities in him. Certainly at this level, and I've spoken to him with the level above that he can more than operate in. So I'm really pleased that he's signed on here. And as I said, it's a good day for everybody at the football club to hear that he's signed a new improved contract.
What do you see as the next stages then of his development to make him an even better defender than what he is right now?
Consistency. Now for him, it's all about consistency, because with the consistency you get to a level, and then your performances, you go through another window in terms of your performances, and you're operating at a level that where the players subconsciously don't realise, but because his performance has been that consistent, he stays at that level. So you're looking at that really in terms of his consistency. You're looking at his in terms of him as a player, in giving the leverage to other players, which shows again his leadership qualities in terms of that. And for him, marking himself at this level as being one of the top central defenders in this league, that's got to be his attributes, what he's looking towards in terms of improving. I have seen improvements with him. I'll continue to see more improvements, but for me, with him, he can get even better, and we work in terms of that. I keep saying the players here, they have to improve individually, we have to improve as a squad, and certainly for Tom, he can definitely sort of tick that box in terms of improvement as an individual, and he's just as one isolated individual that's certainly improved. There's other players I can say that has definitely improved and continue to improve.
Nice one, thank you, Darren.
Cheers, Tom.
Is it that kind of the other side of his game that's kind of come on the most in terms of sort of playing out and sort of balls forward and carrying the ball and stuff like that?
Yeah, what Tom is, Liam, is what I would call a robust, no nonsense centre back, but given time and space on the ball, he'll play forwards, and he's got direction to his play, which is really pleased, and that's been a side that he has improved. There's been a side off the ball as well, where positional sense he's been very good and seeing things early, and at sometimes Tom makes things look a lot more easy than what it is. It's because mentally he's switched on and he knows, he sees things early and gets himself into position very, very early. So there's things to his game that if you're not a trained eye, he's making things look simpler and easier because he's in the right place at the right time. One thing I like with him is 100% there. He does what he says on the tin, but with that as well, he's added things to his game that you need. That if you're going to operate at this level, you need to be the best at it, because that shows that you're ready to take the step up to the next level, which is doing things here now that won't look out of place at the next level. So I'm really pleased with him. But the big thing for him is we're not quite through the halfway mark of the season. Can he do what he's doing over the full course of the season? And if he can maintain his performances that he's been doing now over the full course of the season, it will be definitely one for him that, you know, him as an individual and a player would have improved immensely, and he would have given leadership and direction to the team and the football club if his performances stayed the way they are.
Has all that gone into then the reason why he's kind of been the mainstay at centre half? There's been various options in there, but when he's available, he's played.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody can argue with that. I think when we cast our minds at the season thus far, I think he's been one of the most consistent performer. There's been one or two. Sometimes I don't like Liam singling people out one individually, but because we are talking about him because of the new contract, I'm just giving you sort of parameters to his game where he's seen massive improvement, and messages to Tom that he still has to keep going. You know, we're not halfway through the season yet, but we're good to see him put pen to paper. It settles him down, and we can move forward.
He's always likely to have young players around him, given the sort of your views on bringing players in and stuff like that. Is he a good guy to have and to guide these young players, and particularly at the back, and help bring them on in their career? Absolutely
spot on, and that's what I said. You know, if his performances are consistent, it'll be a leverage for the others to follow suit. You know, when you look at him and where his performances have been, his performances alone have dictated leadership. So it gives it a barometer really for the rest to follow. And you are right in terms of saying that we have got a young squad here. I think the average age of our team's 23 and a half years older when you break it down the squad. So it is relatively a young team. So when you got somebody like him showing that, but somebody what can connect with the group as well, it's a good message to be able to have that off the pitch, but certainly on the pitch as well.